Welcome.
I'm Jasenia.
I'm David.
I'm Vanessa.
Today, we're going to tell you a little bit about the suggested English curriculum, the basic learning rights, and some other complementary documents.
Let's start with the rationale that this guide is posed. The suggested English curriculum and the basic learning rights were designed to guide the English teaching from transition to fifth grade. These tools provide the teachers with an uniform and clear protocol, so they can implement the same strategies, follow the same theoretical framework, and have the same educational goal. They will contribute to the improvement of the pedagogical practices in the classroom as well as ensuring students' achievement of their expected English level according to their grade. As these proposals look for changing ELT practices in Colombia, they were created based on necessities and contextual situation of the country.
Purpose. The main purpose of the basic learning right is to expose the competences students must have depending on the grade they are coursing. In addition, it gives examples of those competences so teachers, learners, and parents can completely understand what tutees need to do in order to follow the competences proposed and graduate with a B1 proficiency level. Talking about the suggested English curriculum, its main purposes are make visible the curriculum components, basic content, and learning objectives of primary education, and restructure and adapt them to the context, and provide coherent ways to bring theory to practice. Also, it raises awareness on the academic community about the characteristics of the English learning process. This should be dynamic, continuous, progressive, and well-planned. Also, it should have equitable treatment to all population, especially the vulnerable people.
Structure. The structure of the basic learning rights is divided into skills: listening, reading, conversation, and monologue, and those are addressed according to the grade. Then, it exposes the specific competences a student should accomplish. On the other hand, the suggested English curriculum structure is divided into grades, and on each grade it presents the basic learning rights and the scope and sequence. After, it shows the suggested syllabus, contents, methodological and assessment suggestions of each module. Materials. Among the resources or material the government has created, we have Boni Bonita, English for Colombia, My ABC Kit, and English Please. And if teachers want to add additional material, they need to take into account these two characteristics. One, it helps the students accomplish the grade objective, and two, it adapts to a student's linguistic level.
Nowadays, the Colombian education system counts with teachers that have not received enough training on the English area, and they do not consider that dynamism is important for developing the classes. Also, lessons are not planned ahead and there is not integration of topics across the scholar periods. That is why students are not able to remember and relate that information to start producing. These educational practices have led students to graduate with less than A1 English proficiency level. Therefore, in order to solve these problematics, it is important to know and implement the suggested English curriculum.
Created using Powtoon.
The suggested English curriculum helps teachers know that teaching English is a process that takes time and preparation not only from teachers but also from students. Moreover, it offers a route to direct facilitators and give unity to all teaching processes around the country. Besides, this document contains different sources where teachers can get materials and activities that follow these recommendations. Thus, the time they will use creating new material will be invested in adapting the existing sources to their context and the students' need.
If you know the results you want to obtain, then you will be more focused on the steps you need to take. Due to the inconsistency of schools' objectives, the student's proficiency level has a wide variation. Nevertheless, taking the basic learning rights into account will ensure that all institutions accommodate the available resources, so students can graduate with their respective competences. In the same way, the basic learning rights will become students aware of the linguistic competences they should have and take responsibility of their processes. Lastly, parents will know what to expect from the school and their children. As we are pre-service teachers, we have the responsibility to change the traditional teaching points of view and methods. In the last decades, English teachers have been seen as sources of vocabulary and grammar.
First, we will use the basic learning rights to set proper aims for each one of our classes. That means aligning students' grade with expected competencies.
Second, We will take advantage of the existing materials and platforms such as Pandemonitas, ABC Kit, English for Colombia, and English Please. We will not reinvent the wheel, but adapt it to our necessities.
Third, we will plan our classes based on the suggested models as well as the students' background knowledge. In that way, we will have congruence with the content.
Fourth, as the suggested English curriculum proposes that the assessment must be focused on students' improvements and not on students' failures, we will do a follow-up so students will always have awareness of their betterment, increasing students' motivation.
Fifth, we will make sure to use the correct approach depending on the grade. That is to say, transition will learn through experiential knowledge. First, second, and third grade will be involved in task-based classes, and fourth and fifth grade will learn through project-based methodology.
Sixth, we will promote the citizenship and inclusion in our classrooms because learning English is not only learning a language, but also learning a culture.
Seventh, 21st century skills will be evidenced in our teaching practices since we will need to adapt the content and activities, be flexible with the decisions we make, and encourage students' autonomy.
Eighth, reading, listening, conversation, and monologue will make part of every class.
Ninth, we will enhance students' interaction as it is one of the bases to learn a language. Through these interactions, students will scaffold their knowledge and increase their intercultural competences.
10th, the suggested English curriculum also recommends the values-based education, so we will reinforce the emotional dimension in our students.
11th, last but not least, as we know this is a long process, we will be tenacious and we will not frustrate if there are no results in a short term. Instead, we will wait for the long-term fruitful results. Thanks for watching.
Bye!
Created using Powtoon.